Good morning. The reason I'm talking today is that I feel so moved to share with you that marriage is totally within your reach. This isn't a sell. This is just a sharing from my experience. I'm married 43 and a half years, and I've known my husband for 45 and a half years. We come from very different backgrounds, religious, cultural. We came from different states. We met at college. So how did we make it work? Well, after 2 years, we could barely stand each other. I was in graduate school for my profession, current profession. He was working, and all of a sudden I realized we have to make this better. We can't live this way. It feels dead. It doesn't feel alive, and it feels conflictual. Sound familiar? What happened is we did workshops, we did therapy, read books, we did everything that we could think of, which I call commitment to being married. And when we moved from that, each time we got better and better and better. But it took us years to have it be really smooth and years for it to have it to be wonderful. Some of what's made it wonderful is that we now have 4.5 decades together. That's amazing. We think of things from 20 years ago with fondness and what we learned in that. And we think about what we did that was fun, going down the Colorado as a family. When we think about Europe, or we think about just someone that we helped along the way. What's helped me along the way is love. None of us are different. We all don't want to be alone. We all want to be loved. And I know that what nurtured any of my fears, worries, sadnesses, memories, wounds, was being loved. I was loved by my family, but I'm saying that the intenseness of a really good, committed relationship is healing. It's healing on every level as a human being. It's even healing of the soul. So the reason I'm sharing it today is that I feel like people just don't get the point. It doesn't happen without work. You have to do the learning. You have to learn how to talk to each other. You have to learn how to resolve conflicts. We mostly had to learn how to compromise because we both had strong ideas. People have to learn not to just acquiesce to keep the peace. And people have to learn how to not dominate. We're really a microcosm of the world. If every marriage could end up being really good, I bet we'd have a lot more peace in the world. I don't mean to be silly, but I really do think so. So why I'm talking today is I'm asking you, read books, take workshops, talk to each other. I have a recent example. I was feeling like something that I wanted was selfish. I was saying this to a friend, and the friend said to me, who's not a therapist and like myself, well, then why don't you talk to him about it? That your greatest fear is that you're being selfish, and see what he thinks. We do that. He does that with me. And that was a reminder that I needed because, sometimes we can't see ourselves as well as someone else. And the greatest mirror in the world is your spouse when they're being truthful and honest and they're not coming out of their hurt and fear. Greatest fear people can have is of intimacy. Because ultimately, one of you goes before the other, and no one wants that loss. But I'll tell you, what you get before one of you goes is so rich, so loving, so comforting, so, what do I want to say? Delicious. Best.